For you to get the promotion to a role or a rank that you're looking for, you need to be operating at that rank. Does that make sense? So if you are, say, an associate trying to be VP, if you're trying to get VP on associate numbers and associate behavior, because that's important, and I kind of make sure that it's not just about numbers, then it's a struggle. You have to be, as an associate, operating at VP level behaviors, conduct, all of that stuff, plus the numbers to then say yes.
So, and interestingly, obviously, this company you would say this has been your first and only job.
It has been my first and only company, multiple roles along the way, but only company I've worked for.
So tell us, so you get into the business management side of the business, so not front office.
Correct, grad program.
2 years? Rotation?
It's a 3-year rotation.
Okay. So you get into this new world, you're in England, obviously you're in the UK, as you want it to be. So in terms of you're internally, how confident are you about yourself, considering, do you know also the weight of the company that you work for at that time? Did you know how big a deal it is?
Yes, I did. But also, it's grown even more since. But yes, I did.
So how did you feel about Folarin?
The interesting thing was, the big game changer was that year, 2005, 2006.
The student union president. Why is that?
I was a different person. The person who applied for the grad role and the person that came out, because the role of the student union president is actually, you're running an organization. It was, at the time, it was a 7-digit pound turnover company, and you got full-time staff. And you graduate, and the first thing you're doing is you're running a company with full-time staff, with lots of revenue, and plans and strategies, policy, representation for the students, board meetings, all of those things, all thrown into kind of day one. Right. So you come out of that a very, very, very different person. So I came out of that a very different person, a lot more confident than I reckon I would have been if I didn't have that experience.
So you do that first year, because you've obviously been exposed to so much, you're obviously managing a budget, obviously I guess would you say you've matured quite a lot in this?
Yeah, I think so. So go into kind of the role at the company with a much more mature mind.
Right, and then do you now have a direction of what you want to go to, or is it more about let me learn as much as I can and then decide where I'm going to plant myself?
That was going in.
Yeah. So
it took 3 months.
Really?
To decide.
Why? Where did you go? Because don't you realize
for 3 years, you're supposed to.
So you knew after 3 months?
After 3 months.
Why is that? What happened?
After 3 months, I knew that I wanted to be something with more market knowledge, more client-facing, more client interaction. Great, fantastic manager to start, super supportive, but I was a different person.
So what do you think was there something, was it a book you read, was it an experience you had? It was just...
No, it just came, and I just thought, I need to do something here, which is super dangerous.
Yeah, because you're basically saying, I want to go into this.
And you're basically dropping the positive of the rotation is it's almost like a safety net.
Yeah. Because
you even if you're not, maybe you're not excelling at one rotation, you may excel at the next rotation. So yes, put my hand up and said to someone, I want to look for other opportunities within the organization.
And they said yes.
They didn't quite say yes.
Oh. So how did that work then? How did you I had the blessing of the manager I had at the time to say, if you find something, go for it. There are usually lots of lateral roles for mobility within the organization, but that meant that I was going to pull myself away from a grad program and go into the safety net and go and take a risk and go into. So do you no longer be classed as a grad once you move?
You're on the same rank as a grad, but you're not classed in a grad program that gives you training and support and all those things and blah, blah, blah.
Why didn't you wait? to get the benefit of seeing the full.
I thought it would be too late.
But is it also because you were older as well? It's like I don't have time to waste.
There was an element of that, but then there was also, you're able to calculate the level of risk that you're taking. And I calculated it as very high at the time. Very high.
So you do the change, you move over.
I moved to the private banking department.
And then when you moved there, you started as graduate?
I started as an analyst, basically.
Okay.
But not on a grad program, just as an analyst.
And how was the first year?
Tough.
Big learning curve?
Huge. Didn't study, kind of investment management or finance or economics as a degree. Studied engineering, so you kind of I'm going back to my roots of basic economics, A-level economics, and building off that again. So you're kind of having to run twice as fast as everybody else around you who's equally, just joined or starting their career. Which is what I did. And
is this long hours that you had to put into?
Well, long hours because I'm trying to catch up. So you do your day job, and then after your day job, you then have to go home and do more studying, more learning, more exams, all of those things. So yeah, there was that. There were sacrifices, a few sacrifices.
And by this time, have you met your wife?
No.
Okay, so you can go for it. You're good.
It was actually a good opportunity I was able to make those sacrifices in terms of kind of time spent with friends, time spent with family. I tend to be a fairly organized person, so I actually did have that conversation with friends that I was close to at the time, saying, you're going to see me a lot less because I need to really crack this thing, and same with family as well. You're going to see me a lot less. I really want to try and make this work. So
yeah. Okay, so, cool. So first year. So in terms of the different roles you had, take us through the journey. So analyst after the first.
Yep.
When do you move up to what's next?
Associate. So joined as an analyst. Joined on technically there's a investment advice desk.
Okay.
And worked with a number of individuals in there, two individuals specifically, so you learn from them as well. Did that for a couple of years and then became an associate. And then that's the point where you then need to start picking up some of your own client book.
Right, so it's like business development.
Exactly.
How do you do that?
So you're doing it in partnership with more seasoned individuals. You're not necessarily doing it on your own. No, not at all. And then it was at that point that my focus changed in terms of the location or geography of the client base. That changed slightly
in terms of
to the Middle East.
Oh, where was you focused on at the beginning?
It was very broad at the beginning. So it was pretty much most of the markets that we covered, and then focused on the Middle East.
Right.
Did that for 8 years.
Wow.
So, based in London, traveling into the Middle East. For probably every 2 months. It's probably a good way.
Did you choose Middle East or they chose?
My manager at the time chose, actually. I didn't.
Right.
But it for a variety of reasons it made sense. I'm really poor with languages, so couldn't cover some European markets, so it made sense.
Right. So how do you get people to support you on your own mission as your career, to progress? What have you done?
I share. I share ideas around where I'm trying to get to. I share ideas around where I think my strengths lie. I'm fairly self-critical around things that I could improve on. I work on them. But I think sharing is quite an important element of that, of getting people to, because if you don't share, they don't know.
And you're not afraid of people hearing your ideas or trying to maybe, because do you share on peer level or do you always share up?
It varies. But again, the plan is my plan. Everyone that's in that process doesn't need to see the plan, if that makes sense. People along the journey see, let's say it's, for 2023, you can speak to people to support your plan for 2023 and say, I really need to improve on, my communication skills or my listening skills, and I need your help.
Right.
But that's part of one of the pieces that leads to...
Oh, right. So you don't tell them the whole plan?
No, not at all.
You just tell them the part that affects where you require them?
Yes. The broader... I do have a group of people that I would share the big plan with. I tend to use the word, my board, personal board, makes up of family and close friends. I think that's an important piece, and that's something I've always had. My brother's always been core to that. My wife obviously is core to that as well. But you need to have a group that you can have an open and honest conversation with about where you're trying to get to. And they can be open and honest equally about what you're doing well, what you're not doing well. They all need to be have different skills, different backgrounds in terms of how they think about these things. And you need to be ready to take it. So I've always had that. The group changes occasionally, but the core has kind of remained the same mostly. Forward.